To start the magic loop method, you will need to cast on as many stitches as your pattern calls for. I use long tail cast on, but any method will work. Magic loop method is my favorite way to knit in the round, and I use it for everything. Hats, gloves, socks, toys, anything in the round. You will need a 36-inch or longer circular needle. My ideal length is 40 inches. A 47-inch cable is too long for me, and I find it awkward. If you are on zeros or ones, you can get away with a 32-inch cable, but for anything bigger, you will want a 40-inch cable. You will also want to pick a needle with a nice flexible cable as well. Now that we are cast on, we're going to move the stitches onto the 2 needle tips. To do this, we will slide them to the center of the cable, divide the stitches in half, and pull the cable out from the center of the stitches. Then we slide the stitches back up onto the 2 needle tips, and we have them divided and ready to go to begin our first round. Before you get going in the round, you want to make sure your tail is coming from the back needle, like it is here. Since joining to work in the round, you will want to go from your last cast on stitch to your first cast on stitch. I also turn the cast on edge so that it is facing inward like this, so you are sure you are not twisting your stitches as you begin the first round. The main trick with magic loop method is you always want your yarn coming from the back needle, always back needle to front needle. Then just pull out your back needle and you're ready to knit. To start, just join the working yarn from the back needle by knitting it with the first stitch in the front to begin your circle. After the first couple stitches, I like to add in a marker to remind me this is the beginning of the round. You will need to add a marker within the stitches or it will fall off the needle if you put it before the stitches. Then, just knit like normal to the end of the front needle. At the end of the front needle, you will need to turn the work around to get to those unworked stitches on the back needle. To do this, I put all of the stitches back up on the needle tips. This way I can tell where my working yarn is coming from. Then, I turn my needles so the unworked stitches are facing me. I pull out my back needle, just like we did in the front, and bring it around to knit. Notice again the yarn is coming from the back needle and going to the front needle. Now you will just go ahead and knit all of those unworked stitches on the back needle. You will want to knit like normal to complete the round. Remember, with magic loop, knitting the stitches on 2 needle tips makes up 1 round. I always bring the stitches back up onto the needle tips like I showed you before after every round so I can make sure that my working yarn is coming from the back. You can see I'm doing it again here. Then I'll just flip around, do it a million more times, and there's the magic loop method.